What is up, YouTube? Welcome back to the Weapon Collective. Thanks for tuning in. This is going to be a pretty cool video, but it's not going to be all that lengthy because we're going over night vision options in this one. So we're going to go over them briefly, but we're not going to get into like every spec of these things. We're just going to give a brief overview of night vision options that you have, and then those will be relevant in future videos. Starting out is a new item from Holosun, and they came out with the Holosun DRS NV. And this is the digital rifle sight night vision. So it's pretty big, it's pretty bulky, but it is a very cool entry level option. So what you have is basically a red dot that you can look through your dot. It's coming through here, and you also have night vision in there. It's a little window. I don't know if you can even see through that glare, but see that? And then you can turn your red dot on and you have the dot in there. It's pretty cool for like 1,500 bucks. And it works fairly well considering what you're used to or what you've been exposed to. But this is a really cool option. You can run it just as a red dot or the combination of red dot with night vision. And they also have a thermal version of this, which is a red dot / thermal, which I've been waiting on for nearly a year now. I ordered it a year ago and still haven't seen it, but fingers crossed that it comes out soon. I'm definitely interested in trying some thermal. And while we're at it, I just threw this on this gun. This is a Radian lower with this Gym Tech upper. This is pretty cool because this is an integrally suppressed upper. So the can is from like here to here. And if you're suppressing 5.56, this is by far the quietest gun that I own. And I mean, 5.56, you can take that top edge off, but you know you're still breaking the sound barrier. It's still a supersonic round, so you're getting that supersonic crack. But with this, this is as quiet as I've ever heard 5.56. But, and then it is on a Radian lower with the SB Tactical SBA3 pistol brace and a Lantac bolt carrier group. But this is pretty cool. I dig this thing. And has a little more clearance than that Honey Badger SD. But this is the Radian lower with the Gym Tech upper. And the main point we're talking about is this Holosun DRS NV. As I said, that digital rifle sight for night vision from Holosun is probably the best, cheapest entry-level night vision option that is currently available, or at least that I'm aware of. It's pretty good, and that's I dig about Holosun, is they're constantly innovating, coming out with stuff. But once we're getting into night vision proper, where you start would be something like a monocular, which would be something like this. So this is a PVS-14 monocular. So it is a L3 Harris tube, unfilmed in white phosphor, which is kind of like the best you can get as far as tubes go. And then there's all sorts of ratings. One significant one being the figure of merit, which is basically how they quantify effectiveness and clarity. And the higher that you get with that figure of merit, or what is referred to as FOM, that is where you get into the real great stuff. And getting up into the high 2300s, 2400s, you're into some really high FOM. So honestly, I don't know what the FOM is on this monocular, but it is a decent little unit. And you can just run this right like this, and it takes a little bit for the un-night visioned eye to adjust, but you are able to see, and after a while in the dark, your eye will adjust. And in some instances, having that unobstructed eye is actually advantageous. But this is a Team Windy bump helmet, so very light and nice to run around in the dark with this. I'm not even going to go into pricing on these things because it varies widely, but it is expensive. And as you go up, it obviously just increases more and more. This is the Monocular L3 Harris tube, and this is a lot of fun, but this is kind of the entry level. From there, you go up into dual tubes. So you can get into the DT NVS, which these are PVS-14 lenses, and then L3 Harris tubes, white phosphor. And these are actually like 2200 FOM. Just the technological advantage of night vision is ridiculous. When you put these on and you get out there, you understand how the US has been superior at night ops for so long. And these things are super cool. When you have them on, you have a 40-degree field of view, which is limiting. And if you haven't run night vision, the way that you work it, it's not like a camera where you put these things on and where you look, they autofocus. You set them for a particular distance, and that is where you're stuck until you make an adjustment. So you basically just want to focus them at infinity, or this is what I like to do, is focus them at infinity, and then everything that you're doing, like you got to know your manual of arms and how to operate your weapon if you are shooting. Because if you look down, it's just a blur. Unless you want to adjust and then readjust when you look up. So you set it for a distance of infinity and you can see out there, but you have to know how to operate that weapon without looking at it. This is an Ops Core bump helmet. So it's not bulletproof, but it's light. And this is a Wilcox G24 mount. These are all Wilcox G24 mounts, but these Ops Core amp arms are by far my favorite. I'll put this on so you can fold your ears down, put those guys on, and then just a click, and you got your night vision. And these are cool. I obviously can't see anything right now because I'm not turning these on in the middle of all this light, but night vision is by far one of the coolest things that I own. So once you get up into something like a binocular, the DT NVS, or you can get the PVS-14s, PVS-31s, definitely taking a significant jump up in cost of the equipment. But it is crazy when you get to walk through the dark and see everything out there. It is truly nuts. So this is fun. And then kind of the jewel in the crown right now for night vision, Gen 3 night vision, is going to be the GP NVG, which is the ground panoramic night vision goggle. These are L3 Harris, and these are made famous by Zero Dark 30. And just the quads are sweet. You just look like, I mean, these things have the cool factor of the coolest. That this is as cool as it gets. And these are on a Team Windy ballistic helmet, so this is bulletproof. It's not that much heavier, but when you're running with the quads and a ballistic helmet, it definitely, and you have a battery pack, because the difference between the Monocular, the DT NVS, and these is these don't have an onboard power option. You can put a battery in those two, in the Monocular and the DT NVS, and run them. These, you need an external battery that is running them. You do have quite a bit of weight on your head, and it takes a little bit of time to adjust to that. But I mean, to be honest, I've never been out for 12 hours at a time wearing these. You know, it's usually an hour or two that I have these on. The longest I think I've ever been under nods, I took a night vision course down in Vegas from TNVC, and that was 3 nights. I didn't have these at the time. I had the dual tubes, so that was nothing. I had 0 problems, and I want to go do that again with my new gear. But haven't signed up for one as of yet. I'm telling you, night vision is so much fun and such an advantage, and it's just a very cool option. So somebody out there might ask, why go for a quad like this when the dual tubes, and there's applications where the dual tube is probably superior to this. The place where this is really going to be the best that you can get is either doing CQB, driving. I mean, these were basically invented for helicopter pilots. So anytime you need a big field of view, if you compare these to the dual tubes and you come in a house, I mean, you know, your field of view is ending over here, while these, you're seeing all the way out your periphery. You just have a much larger field of view and can see far more. So I've run both of these out on the flat range at night, and these are fun. And they're perhaps even the dual tubes are better for just out plinking around in the dark. The reason I have these is the cool factor. That's part of it for sure. And then the other is just in case I ever had to drive. The SHTF situation, the without rule of law into the world as we know it, and I'm actually trying to drive, I want these. Cool factor is probably a lot more relevant. It's one of those things that I got them and I have zero regrets. I love these. Those are the options that I have, and I think they cover most of the bases. There might be something else out there, but for the most part, it's gonna fall somewhere in between either that digital rifle sight up to the GP NVGs. Whatever it is that you can get, rent, use, borrow, awesome. I suggest you try to gain access to some sort of night vision just to give it a try, because it is amazing. By no means am I a night vision expert. I'm just an enthusiast, and I highly interested and love all of this equipment. Have a hard time not trying to eventually get the things that I'm into. Like I said, this was going to be a short video, just kind of doing a brief once over on these items, and they'll be relevant to later videos that shall be coming soon. I do apologize because I know that there are some delays in rolling some of this stuff out. I'm a one-man band over here, so I'm doing everything myself, and it is time consuming and trying to find the time to get all this stuff done, but it is coming. There'll be a night vision video out soon where you'll see this equipment, and I appreciate you stopping by, tuning in. I'm Jeff for the Weapon Collective, reminding you to keep your weapons collected and keep collecting your weapons. I'll catch you next time.